Hi ladies and gentlemen, my name is Craig Knitt and I represent the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Green Bay, specifically the Youth Arts Initiative, which has now been going for a little more than 5 years. We have gained so much knowledge and exposed kids to such great things that we're very proud of that initiative. Now, I also am an award-winning filmmaker, artist, improvisational comedian, and I have my own film festival in Appleton, Wisconsin that is now 19 years old. So I have seen a lot of videos, many of them very, very good, and some of them not quite as good. So one of the reasons that I came here today is I wanted to share with you Craig's top 10 tips for making educational videos. Number 1, capture the best audio possible. I place that as number 1 on purpose because audio is significantly important when you're making a video. Make sure that people are understanding you, you are enunciating appropriately, and there's no background sounds that are stealing from the audio that you're currently working with. For example, I will shut off the furnace while I am recording video just on the probability that the furnace will kick on in the middle of my run. I don't want that to happen. If you have a barking dog in the background, it's kind of cute for a few seconds, but if that keeps going on forever, it'll drive people nuts. So let's try to get rid of that. Also, remember, your voice is a tool. So if you're very soft-spoken, you might have to learn to project more so that your voice gets out to the camera and out to your students a little bit better. As it is a tool, be able to vary it up. If you need to tell somebody something very secret, oh my gosh, here's something I want to share with just you. Vary the tone in your voice. Number 2, capture the best video you possibly can. Now, not everybody is going to have the same video equipment and technology. That's okay. Most of the time, we might be shooting it on our cell phone. Now, here's the cool thing, is that cell phones today shoot better videos than I did 20 years ago when I was making films with my camcorders and spent way more than what I did on this. These can actually be quite a tool, but now keep in mind, when you're shooting video, try not to go this way. Turn it to the side and go with a landscape. That way it's a little bit more conducive to what we're used to seeing in a screen. You won't have all that extra space on either side. The technical part of things are going to be different for each person. I like to use 2 different cameras. And the reason I like to do that is because it provides 2 separate shots and it makes the shooting a little bit more engaging for me as a presenter. I use the wide camera when I'm trying to present something general, but if I really want to get into the dirt of something and really get specific with what's going on, I can direct my comment right to this camera here, and ultimately what I'm doing is I'm talking to my kids. I'm talking directly to Josiah or Tegan or Emily or whoever is sitting right there in my mind. I'm talking directly to them. Now, I like to have a front camera, a side camera, but I also have a camera right above me which helps on recording demonstrations. When I'm recording a demonstration, there's some things that I can do to make it a little bit more interesting. As I'm drawing, it takes like an hour, if not longer, to make an illustration. But by fast forwarding that footage, it can make that hour condensed into a 2-3 minute long presentation, which is much more interesting for the kids to watch. Keep in mind that kids' attention spans are like that, so you want to try to have a little bit of variety any chance you can. For example, right now this is about a medium shot. So here's a wide shot, and it gives a greater distance between you and the camera, making everything maybe seem a little less intimate. Also, it shows the mess of the space around you. You don't want that. Let's cut back to the close-up. That's a little bit better. Also, keep in mind the composition of your shot. This is a kind of an empty space, but it's a great perfect space for a brand new Star Wars book if you got one. Or you can kind of post a logo in that area, something that'll add some interest to your video. Number 3, know your content. And not just know it, but be excited about it. Find out what it is that makes you excited about what you're trying to teach. If it's exciting for you, it's going to be exciting for your students. What I like to do is I like to make a brief outline of everything I hope to cover in my video and kind of go by that outline. That way, if I get a little bit rambly, which I tend to do, I can get myself right back on track without a problem. If you are someone who needs a lot of details in how you're going to lay it out, this is the time that you can kind of write out or script it out in a much more organized outline form. Whatever you need, I think is going to be okay. I like to kind of give a general idea and then wing it from there and try to keep myself on the rails as I go. Number 4, connect with your camera. Your camera is your kids. So you really want to try to make that connection right to them. That's again why I have the second camera, but also I'm talking to the camera. I am talking right to someone who's not here, but I can easily imagine there's a handful of my students right there. And that I think helps quite a lot. Let them see your eyes. If you're shooting videos in the sunlight, maybe get out of the sunlight so that you can take your shades off. But let them see your eyeballs. That way they can kind of make that human connection, and I think that's really important. Number 5, represent your team. Now, I've got a logo over here, or at least I had one at one point, but also you can be wearing your logo. Let's do that right now. Okay, here's my Doodle Planet shirt. This is one of the comic books that we did. But you know what? We've made a newer one. Let's change it up. There we go. Perfect. So represent your organization or your club, and I think that'll be really great. You can also mention that a number of times. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm Craig Knitt and I represent the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Green Bay. Number 6, be yourself. Unless you're an absolute jerk. In that case, don't be yourself. Be someone who's inspiring and funny and kids would love to watch and you're engaging. But chances are, if you're working with kids already, you probably have some of those traits in you anyways. So be genuine. And as you do more videos in front of the camera, you're going to get more comfortable. I can't tell you how many people tell me, I hate the way that I sound. Oh my God, is that me? That doesn't sound like me at all. It is you, but you'll get better the more that you make. Number 7, add some music if you want. Music can really help to enhance the feeling and the mood of your video, and your kids will be that much more engaged. Here's a resource that you can use to find some royalty-free music online. It's called incompetech.com. It is owned by a friend of mine up in Green Bay, Kevin MacLeod, and he will let you use his music for free. The only thing he asks is if you use his name in the credits of your video. I think that's a really fair trade. Also, if you want to, you can make your own music. That's even better yet. So if you like to play the harmonica, you can make your own music for your own video. That'd be great. Number 8, be respectful of our audience. Now, our audience probably is about 6 to 18 years old. So if your kids are that age, depending if they're younger, your videos are probably going to need to be shorter. If they're older, they can stand to watch a video a little bit longer. But keep that in mind. It's better to leave your audience wanting more than to make them go, oh gosh, that was great, I am full, no more video for me. Number 9, allow some time for editing. Keep in mind, the more tricks and fancy stuff that you got going on, the longer it's going to take for you to put it together. You can also enhance your film with graphics or additional photographs or additional content to make things a lot more interesting for your students. But again, that's going to take that much more time on your side to put all this together and make it into one conducive film when it's all finished. But it might be worth it, especially if you're creating a tool that you'd like to use in the future. And number 10, keep it fun. Guys and gals, if you're having fun making these videos, chances are your audience are going to have fun watching these videos. They're also going to be more apt to watch it from beginning to end, if not rewatch it and relearn the content that you're hoping for them to gain from you. Hopefully you guys have picked up a tip or two from my tutorial here. If you have any questions, my name is Craig Knitt and I represent the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Green Bay. I can be reached at cknitt@bgcgb.org. Thank you so much for listening, and again, I hope you gained some knowledge from what I had to share. Have a great night. Stay healthy.